All right, welcome back to Bartalk on UkpTv, and like I said, we are here live at Obalande Gardens, where you can get the best Lagos Amala right here in Awka, the capital city of Anambra State. And as you can see, we've just been joined by an amazing lady and a handsome gentleman. I heard Honorable calling you Igbo. If you want to enter my body, but I say look, I can't Igbo. Okay. They didn't call your name, so I guess you have to introduce yourself.
Okay, this is Miss Adamma.
Miss Adamma. Wow. And well, moving on now. We are discussing ritual killings. This issue has been on the rise, and it is giving every single Nigerian who is patriotic sleepless nights. And before you guys joined us, Honorable spoke about the causes of ritual killings. He made mention of the society, the church. In fact, generally, he said it is leadership failed at every single level. Now, I want to ask you, Mr. Damma, what do you think could be the consequence? Before I start talking about a solution, because before people start talking about solution, they need to understand the consequence of not going for the solution. So, what do you think could be the consequence? Like in the next 3, with the rate at which ritual, because even as at yesterday, there was news about another ritual killing from youngsters. What do you think will be the consequence of this issue, this trending menace, in fact, if it is not checked?
Okay, thank you very much. Now, we have seen how far this havoc have gone into our society, and it's really, really tiring. The consequences are going to give us a lawless society, because these younger ones are taking us into the, apart from the home training that is not there, the family being the family that neglected their role, the most important primary role of guiding the children to grow up in good manners. The fact is that we are going to have a lawless society where you can kill and go away with it. And when the security and government will come into the episode of trying to tackle these menace by when whoever is the victim or accomplice to it is being brought to book, being given the right punishment, I think it's going to teach any other person that wants to go into such route a lesson. And apart from that, if we didn't curtail this, we are going to have, so apart from lawless society, we are going to have a society where killing and bloodshed is just like a normal day-to-day activities, because these guys, these children are not seeing this thing as this is havoc, for crying out loud. This is abomination. This is something that shouldn't be heard of, but our society has made it like, okay, you cannot do it and go away with it. So we're not security personnel that will do the right thing, and the family coming in, it will prevent having a lawless society in the future. Thank you.
Wow, you're talking about security personnel, and we all know that Nigerian security is two-faced. There is the security for the guys who don't have money. There is the security for the guys who have money. I mean, you understand, because if you think about what has been happening recently, Oramoni that was killed, said the courts wanted to, initiate him, and later a lot of issues started coming up, and now people are thinking that the police are two-faced and all that. I want to ask Igbogazi, just like she has already talked about some of the consequences, that some of the consequences if ritual killing is not tackled now, if it's not nipped in the bud. So I want you to talk a little bit about the solution. You see, the solution, because like she said, if ritual killing is not tackled, maybe in the next few years now, if you see a young boy of 17 years, because he might have small gun with which he will, kill you and take your head and go and roast. So what do you think now should be the solution to this issue of ritual killing? How do we sensitize the youth to move away from the norm of ritual killing?
All right, thank you very much. First, the solution simply is to sensitize the youth to imbibe the culture of hard work. Like I said earlier before, and I used to say it often, that many young people focus on the ends. The end justifies the means. So many people want to blow instead of grow. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that is one of the big problems that we have. I feel that education will equally play a very key role in this particular aspect. I keep hampering on education. Right now, Nigeria is experiencing massive unemployment. At least the percentage of unemployment rate is around 37%.
Wow.
So what it simply means is that out of about 200 million population in this country, that about 70-something million people are currently without jobs. And then if you look at the global economy, many people are getting out of jobs. There are technological innovation, technological disruptions going on everywhere. So I feel that education will definitely play a very key role in order to stem the tide. I want the government to focus mainly on skills.
That's the government. Talking about the government now.
Even young people now should acquire skills. Go for skill acquisition instead of hampering on certificate and all that. All these things are phasing out. Young people should update themselves, should acquire technical, vocational, digital skills. These are relevant skills that are in vogue now. In fact, I read a report on World Economic Forum, and this report is very scary. It's a report that is based on the global job market. It says that by 2030, it's based on the American economy, by 2030, that 75 million people in America will definitely lose their jobs.
In America?
In America.
Yeah, not to talk of Nigeria.
So he equally said that by that time, about 90 million jobs will be created. So are we actually going towards that particular angle? We found out that we have a very huge gap, skill gap in Nigeria. That's why many times we find out that many people have limited opportunity for jobs, and that's why many of them go for ritual killing.
Okay, please, moving on quickly. When you talk about scaling up, massive scale up, you know that whether you are gainfully employed or not, I want to subscribe a little bit to what my brother here said, because he mentioned something that was very striking. He said Nollywood. So when you talk about Nollywood, I want to generalize it into content creators. You understand? So our beautiful lady, I want to ask you a question. How do you think the government can, regulate social media and also the terrestrial media and even pay TV to ensure that the kind of content they churn out there do not mislead our youths? Having in mind the fact that those youngsters caught roasting their girlfriend's head said they saw the procedure on social media. So how do you think the government can wade into this and make sure that the social media or the paid TV or terrestrial TV does not mislead our youths? You want to help her out?
I think when your person has two faces.
Yes.
So she might not come up with the euphoria.
So the honorable is bailing you out too.
What is important is when we normally talk about government, I think what government should do is just to step up in the game to redeem this society of ours from going into the abyss. One, we need to remodel our education system. Okay. Because in this part of the world, we always lay emphasis, like Igwe have said, certificate, BSc, MSc, HND.
No, I want us to focus more. I want us to focus more because he spoke about education exhaustively. But now I'm talking about an issue you raised, Nollywood. Do you know? I've watched. I've watched some Nollywood movies.
Yes.
The kind of things they portray there is not in tandem with our moral values.
Have you watched horror movies from UK, United Kingdom, America, India? Do those things happen there? Those things are movies for crying out loud. And they normally say rated 18. Yes, they normally tell you don't try this at home. You understand? How many kids in Nigeria have televisions in their house and watch Nollywood? How many people subscribe to GoTV and DSTV that watch those films?
However, I disagree with you.
It might be part of the problem anyway. But necessarily, what we need to do is to remodel our system of education, whereby vocational institutions, technical colleges will be taken more serious. Yes, let me tell you, if a child, when you go to Yoruba, you see like 5 years, 6 years old boy learning mechanic, learning trade. Most times here it doesn't happen.
Yes.
They will tell you to finish university, finish your masters. Now you will come back with your MSc and start learning that skill again.
That's now.
We need to remodel our
Because you know that before then we were the one leading the whole skill acquisition thing.
Whereby people can acquire skill even while
They are applying for degree.
Okay.
Are you getting me?
Yes.
So this is what I'm saying by remodeling our educational system.
Sorry, briefly. You said you did not. Sorry. You said you did not agree with him. Wait. Okay, we will come to you. But why don't you agree with what he said?
Honorable, I disagree with you because when you are trying to justify this content creators, this Nollywood of a thing with horror movies and I disagree. Because even me as a child, when we are still watching black and white, you know, black and white was filmed in many homes then. But many of us can watch part 1 to 5 through the window. We peep, we do everything possible. Then we have all these viewing centers. If your parents sent you on an errand, you have to stop on that those viewing centers to watch some movies.
But sorry for me not to interrupt you. The end of those movies.
Now,
The end of those movies.
They are always comic.
The end of those movies are always even more tragic for the persons that get themselves involved in those.
Honorable. Now,
They either die, they run away, their family is wiped out and stuff like that.
Now,
so you can't say that somebody who started watching the movie and see someone getting involved in this act and at the end of the day running mad.
Let's move away from movies now. Please, before you talk about movies, because our time is actually getting exhausted. Let's move away from movies because movies are not easily accessible by everybody. Let's talk about social media.
it is in Nigeria now.
No, let's talk about social media because most of these movies now you can easily see them on social media.
Did you read a report of a kidnapper and a ritual killer who actually said that he learned that particular act from the film he watched? I think he mentioned a particular Nollywood actor that actually motivated him to actually do such kind of act.
Yeah, I know, but I want to.
The same Nollywood actor I've also watched.
Nollywood
And you have also watched.
Amplify such.
No, I want to. Do you know why I'm stressing on social media? Because the most easily accessible media in our country today is social media.